Loving your kitchen. Today I don't need to be in the kitchen, so we are going to talk about what to do when you live by yourself, or if you're a working mom, or just those occasional times where you just don't feel like cooking, because we do all have them. Yes, even me. Okay. There are many, many meals that you can make ahead of time and freeze them. Make a big pan of lasagna, ladies, okay? Cook it. Cut it up into sections. Wrap it up and freeze it. Make sure you wrap it as tightly as possible, okay? Freezer paper around that also. Make sure you keep it good. Use freezerware if you have it. Anything. And then if you're working, your family can go in and grab a piece of lasagna and heat it up so that way they're not eating out fast food when you're not home. Or if you live by yourself, this makes a great chance to be able to make yourself a healthy meal and you have it in there for numerous days. It also does work very well with spaghetti and meatballs. Pasta is just amazing to do this with. My hobo plates, which I have done a video on, I will probably be doing another one, is another great one for those of you that live by yourself or for the working moms or whatever, where you can get a full meal in the freezer and all I got to do is bring it out, let it thaw out, and cook it. I will tell you, if you use mashed potatoes and they're going to go in the freezer, make them drier than what you normally would, because otherwise they're going to get really, really soggy. And we like creamy mashed potatoes. We just don't like soggy mashed potatoes. So make them drier than what you normally would. Soups are wonderful, as long as, like with the soups, with the cream-based soups, you are dealing with whole milk and cream and stuff like that, because otherwise the cream bases can tend to separate in the freezer and when you thaw them out. We have soup every Thursday, and then I continue cooking for the rest of the week. So, I may keep some soup out for myself for lunches. But other than that, I will set up coffee mugs and I will put a freezer bag inside the coffee mug, wrap it over the top of the coffee mug so that way you're not getting any mess, okay? And fill that up with soup. Take the bag out of the coffee. I'm having a really hard time talking today. Take the bag out of the coffee mug. Get as much air out of it as you can. Seal it up. Lay them flat on a cookie sheet and put them in your freezer. Now, after they are frozen, take them off that cookie sheet, stack them up. Make sure that they are labeled. That way you can go into your freezer and grab a bag, thaw it out under some hot running water, dump it in a coffee mug, and put it in the microwave, and you have a nice hot cup of soup without having to make an entire pot of soup. Let's see. We've done the hobo plates. We've done making big meals and putting it in. Okay, chicken is a wonderful, or even beef too, but mostly chicken, for being able to use it for many different meals. You can make yourself a nice cooked whole chicken, and then the next day shred some off and use it for tacos. And then the next day have some cut up chunks and use that for a salad or whatever. You can do that same thing with like steaks. Chop it up, use it in a salad, or make a very expensive stew if you feel like it. Try to think of things, when you cook, if you're going to cook chicken tenders and you live by yourself, cook a bunch of them, and then you can eat them throughout the week and you don't have to go back in there and cook. I've talked about pre-cooking the ground beef. Pre-cooked taco meat. And then, if you want some tacos, you can use a little snack baggies to throw it in there, and then that's enough for a taco or a burrito. You pull it out and you make yourself a couple tacos. Or then your family could just pull out a bigger bag of taco mix and be able to have tacos when you're working. There are so many different things. My hamburger helpers, I came up with the idea yesterday with talking with a lady that instead of doing them in the plastic bags, which can get holes in them, to put the pasta or rice or whatever you're using into a quart-sized mason jar or even a pint-sized mason jar, and then just stick the sauce baggie packet in there. And then you have a jar of hamburger helper. Label it on the front with the instructions so you have them. You know how sometimes at Christmas, I know I did it this year, you get like the brownies in the jar and all you have to do is add the what ingredients. It's the same basic principle. Salads in a jar. Another wonderful thing. You can literally make up a week's worth of salads and seal them in a mason jar, and they won't go bad. Dressing and stuff goes at the bottom, so you put like the dressing and then your beans or peas or carrots or whatever on top of that. Then your cheeses, then your lettuce, and then your croutons if you want. I would personally leave the croutons out. Seal it up, stick it in your refrigerator. You have salads for a week and you didn't have to worry about your lettuce going bad. So those are just a couple of my tips for being able to cook for multiple days at one shot, to where you don't have to worry about constantly dirtying up your kitchen. Because when you go in there and when you have to cook, you might as well make it worth your while. Because why should you have to go in there and make the exact same thing or something very similar the next day when you could have just made it the day ahead of time? Plus, Italian food always tastes better the second day anyhow. So, take care, ladies. Love your kitchen. Love every moment you're in your kitchen. And I will talk to you later, okay? Bye, Lady Renee, signing off. I'll see you later.